Well, sorry about that. For some reason, I'm having to do this on my phone, so my video cut and dropped me off there right as I was talking about. I got to grand stupid at age 25. So, try and make this shorter for you guys. What I did is I basically challenged Satan. I called him out, and I was hoping he heard me. And it was one of two times in my life that I ever talked to him and was wanting him to hear me. And the first was to challenge him, and the second was to tell him a year later to get the hell out of my life and leave me alone, and that I didn't need his shit. And I'm with Jesus now. Well, what got me there is, that I was expecting something to happen that day that I basically prayed, made out the challenge, as they call it. And this is the first time I've ever told this story publicly. There's about 4 people that have told this story too, because people don't like hearing you say that you were talking to the devil and you were hoping that he heard you, and you were trying to hear what his response was. Yeah, that freaks people out. But why isn't it, if he's so powerful, why isn't he can't just take us over like that? Why does he have to deceive us to get our soul? So if we say no, and we mean it, there's power to that. That is what power that we all have. And if you don't want Satan, you tell him to get his ass on the highway and hit the road. And be gone, don't come back. Don't need you. And if you're still here, how about a nice, warm, loving hug, buddy? Come on in, get some Jesus love. Man, that'll send him packing. So, what happened? No, nothing happened. I was like, they didn't even want to take me on. So I realized he didn't have to play by my rules. He didn't have to play by any rules I was even aware of. And as time went on, my life just fell apart. And everything that I had just started to fall and drop away month after month, thing after thing. And the woman I was in love with and was getting ready to ask to marry me broke my heart and took off. Said that, she wasn't ready for a serious relationship like that yet, and she was going and she didn't want me coming. And so I started down, ended up losing my job, lost my truck, and I get to a point where I'm can't find work, about ready to get evicted, living with my 2 younger brothers, and they're paying the rent, keeping us from being evicted, and I'm not contributing anything anymore. And realized then that I had a problem with depression. I'd gone through it when I was a kid and in high school, but I didn't realize how serious a problem it was until then. Long story short, I stayed in bed for 4 days because it started one morning when I woke up and looked to see what time it was. The sun had just been up, it was early morning, and I couldn't think of one good reason to get out of bed. So I did as I always did when I was young. I could always sleep for 2 more hours, just get comfortable again and relax, and 2 more hours of sleep. And it went on. One day of not finding any good reason to get up. Day 2, thought, do I even need to go to the bathroom? Didn't eat, didn't drink yesterday. Apparently I started on a good cycle for that because I didn't go to the bathroom either for 4 days. Did not get out of that bed one single solitary time for 4 days. Woke up morning of day 4, seemed like it was coming up on lunchtime. And once again, thought, let me see if I can get 2 more hours sleep, because why bother? And started, next thing I know, I was dreaming. And I was going, wow, this is a lucid dream. I'm realizing I'm dreaming. What am I going to dream about? Because I know dreams pretty well. I studied them. I experimented with them for months. I trained myself, did some self-hypnosis. I used to do dream programming where I could dream exactly what I told myself I wanted to dream about. And after about 6 months of that, and I couldn't come up with any more ideas, I decided to just see what my imagination would happen, and just left it open. And that's when I just went off, and man, it just blew my mind that first night. I know about dreams. And I know about spiritual happenings when your spirit is out of your body and you're really experiencing and living that experience, whatever it is you're doing out of your body. So I know about dreams, and people, if you want to tell me that what happened to me that I'm about to explain to you was just a dream, I'm going to tell you don't know. There's no way you can know. And if you don't like me and you don't want to believe me, fine. Don't take my word for it. But be gone then. Don't listen to me from here on in. Because if you're going to sit here and then complain about it, why'd you bother to listen to it for in the first place? So I'm going to tell you something right now, and believe it or not, but when I realized I was having a dream and I looked, what am I dreaming about? I realized I was looking like floating up on my ceiling in my bedroom, looking down at myself lying in bed sleeping. And I thought, wow, I'm dreaming that I'm watching myself sleep. And then I thought, am I dreaming and not sleep? And the next thing I know, it felt like I was back in my body. And I'm like, wait a minute. And I thought I was just outside myself, looking at myself dreaming. And there I was back again, looking at myself down on that bed, dreaming. And I don't know how many times I went back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. In my body and out of my body and in my body. And finally I thought, wait a minute. Let's wake up. I've had enough of this. Let's wake up. And that's why I know this isn't a dream. Because I couldn't wake up. And when I realized I couldn't do anything with my body anymore, I freaked. And I thought, I'm dead. I slept myself to death in 4.5 days. And died of dehydration and starvation. And intoxication from whatever was left inside my body going bad. And when I had that thought, I'm dead, I wondered, what's going to happen? Now is when I'm going to find out, am I a Christian? Am I saved? Am I going to go to hell? Because I was experiencing fear. And my fear was like, are we going to go to hell? And the moment I thought that, pitch black. Couldn't see my hand in front of my face, pitch black. And I'm like, okay, no, I'm going to go to heaven. I'm going to go to heaven, come out of this. And it didn't happen. And as I'm struggling with that, I felt a sensation of movement. And I'm like, where am I moving? Where am I going? Which one am I going? And I was headed down. That was obvious. I was going down. And so then I'm kind of freaking. I'm like, no. Let's stop this. Come on, come out of it. We're going to wake up. We don't have to do this. Seemed to make it worse. And I started to pick up speed. And I started to hear sounds, noises, voices, sound like people moaning and groaning, suffering. And the faster I moved, the louder and stronger that suffering got. And I thought, oh Lord, I'm going to hell. No, Jesus, please, no. And at that moment, I looked, and I don't know, there's no way to imagine this. Like I said, I was in complete blackness. And I was coming to this place of stone that was black stone. And there was a black stone wall that I was headed for. And inside that black wall was a black door that was darker and deeper than all the other blackness around. And in all that pitch blackness, I could see this black door and this black wall and this black world. And the suffering was coming from inside that door. And I was headed right for it. And as I'm getting to it, I just put my hands out and was watching them to try and make sure that I hit the outsides of those doors to stop myself. And with every molecule of my being, I screamed, no! And as I'm doing that, in that pitch blackness right here, I see the face of Jesus. And he said, looked him right in the eye, and he's got this look of peace over him that just, right now, makes me tears me up, man. This is, like I said, I'm sharing this with the world. Only 4 other people have heard the story. This peace just came over me. And all of a sudden, there was light. And I could see his face. I was in that bedroom again, back in my body, looking up at the ceiling, and I could see his face still there in front of me with that look of peace in his eyes, like everything's great, man. You don't have to worry about nothing. You are great. You are loved. And I just watched that look in his eye, and I could see the texture of my ceiling through him, and I just slowly watched his face fade out. And I realized, God, I do have a reason to get up out of this bed. And I got up, and I got my life going again. And it's been a walk of faith ever since. And I'll tell you something about faith. It's the substance of things unseen. And I have had, let me count here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right now, I'm in my 8th walk of faith since then on my own. Just me and Jesus. I did get married back in 2006. Finally, I was almost this year. I turned 46. Is that right? No, it was the year I turned, yeah, right before my 46th birthday, I finally got married. I was single my whole life. All my brothers had kids, except for my youngest, and my sister